The Denver Broncos just got three pieces of great news that completely changed the story about our playoff chances. Some people think we're barely making it into the NFL playoffs, almost sneaking in like we don't belong. But let me tell you, that's not true at all. In this video, we're breaking it all down. If you're new here, my name's Ben, and I'm a huge Denver Broncos fan. If you love the Broncos too, hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. This whole season, it feels like Broncos country has been fighting against all the outside noise. People keep saying we're one of the worst teams in football, ranking us 31st at the start of the season. But did they forget about our 5-game win streak last year against some of the best teams? Or how well we did under a new coach, Sean Payton? Even now, some Broncos fans are starting to doubt the team. We had 3 must-win games and lost some momentum, and suddenly everyone's losing hope. But this video is here to remind you why the Denver Broncos are still a strong team and why we're in a great position to make an impact in the playoffs. First, a big shout out to Brio on Twitter for pointing this out. One way to predict if a team will bounce back or fall off next year is by looking at how they perform in close games. Let's dive into what that means for us. One of the biggest indicators of a team's future success is how they perform in close, one-score games. If a team wins too many of those close games, it's often just luck, and luck doesn't last forever. Take the Minnesota Vikings, for example. A few years ago, they won a ton of one-score games with Kirk Cousins. They made the playoffs but couldn't keep that streak going. They lost in the first round because their luck ran out. The Broncos, however, are on the opposite side of that trend. This season, we've lost a crazy number of one-score games, way more than you'd expect. And here's the thing. We haven't lost to any bad teams. Every team that's beaten us is either a playoff team or a serious playoff contender. Except for the game against the Baltimore Ravens, every loss we've had this year has been by just one score. Now, imagine if those close losses had gone the other way. If we had won all those one-score games, we'd be the best team in the NFL right now. That alone proves we're a strong team, and it's time people started recognizing that. This season, the Broncos have only been truly outplayed in one game, the loss to the Baltimore Ravens. It's a tough place to play, and honestly, I hope we don't face them in the playoffs. The good news is, based on how the playoff bracket is shaping up, we wouldn't see them until the AFC Championship, if at all. Another sign that this Broncos team is not just barely scraping into the playoffs is how much talent we have, even as one of the youngest teams in the league. Did you know we're the 3rd youngest team in football? Despite that, we have several players who are either Pro Bowlers or Pro Bowl alternates. Right now, we've got 3 Broncos locked into the Pro Bowl: Pat Certain, Marvin Mims, and Nick Bonitto. On top of that, we have a bunch of alternates who might make it, depending on which AFC teams make it to the Super Bowl and who skips the Pro Bowl. Having this many players recognized as being among the top 10 in their positions proves we're not just an average team. We've got real talent, and it's something to be proud of as we head into the playoffs. The Broncos are not just limping into the playoffs, we're proving we belong. Just look at Bo Nix, who has been outperforming Patrick Mahomes in Pro Bowl votes. His numbers this season are incredible, even better than Mahomes. PFF also dropped an exciting stat today. Bo Nix has had an outstanding rookie season. He's been productive beyond expectations, and we know he's only going to get better. In his second year learning Sean Payton's system, he'll improve even more, and by years 3, 4, and 5, the ceiling is sky high. It's like having a new version of Drew Brees, but this time, a more mobile one. Nix's production is already way above what anyone expected. He was projected to throw for 15 touchdowns this season, but he's already accounted for 30 with one game still left. What's more impressive is that he leads the league in dropped passes. If his receivers hadn't dropped so many balls, his stats would be even more eye-popping. Imagine what Nix can do next year with fewer dropped passes. If we reduce the 25 drops from this year and give him more reliable targets, his yardage and touchdown numbers could skyrocket. It's also worth noting how tough things have been for Justin Herbert with the Chargers. They've lost key offensive players like Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Austin Eckler. With so little talent left around him, it's no surprise his production has dropped. That's a scary thought for any team relying on such a depleted roster. The Chargers might improve once they build a stronger team around Justin Herbert, but let's focus on the Broncos. Bo Nix is only going to get better, especially as he moves past his rookie season. If he can avoid leading the league in dropped passes next year, his stats will go through the roof. Now, here's more proof that the Broncos aren't just sneaking into the playoffs. We've been flexed into primetime games twice in the past 3 weeks. Everyone wanted to see Bo Nix in action on Thursday night and again on Saturday night. And now, this Sunday, the whole country will be watching the Denver Broncos take on the Kansas City Chiefs. For me, as someone living out of state, moving from Longmont, Colorado to Michigan during COVID, it's a big deal. Every week I'd check the NFL distribution map, hoping the Broncos game would be on TV. If not, I had to rely on Sunday Ticket. But now, we're back where we belong. This Sunday, fans across the country will see the Broncos in action, and we're going to prove we deserve to be in the playoffs. I'm confident we'll take down the Chiefs' backups and secure our spot. Plus, there's even more good news heading into this must-win game. The Broncos are getting healthier. Sean Payton deserves a lot of credit for this. Under Nathaniel Hackett, we were the most injured team in football last year. This season, we've gone from being one of the most banged-up teams to one of the healthiest. That's a huge turnaround and a testament to how well Payton runs this team. The Broncos are now one of the top 3 healthiest teams as the season comes to an end, and the timing couldn't be better. We've had a bit of a longer break this week, playing on Saturday and then again on Sunday, giving us extra time to recover and heal up before this crucial game. Meanwhile, things are looking rough for the Chiefs. Their injury report suggests they'll be missing 7 key players for this game. From what I've seen, it looks like Chris Jones, Isaiah Pacheco, Jawan Taylor, Patrick Mahomes, and Travis Kelce might all sit out. That's incredible news for the Broncos. The team knows how important this game is, and I have no doubt
Study on the
they'll give
game
it
plan and make
everything
sure we
they've
come
got.
out victorious.
This is a win-or-go-home moment,
Pat,
and they're not
you've
leaving
been the
anything
face
on the
of the
table.
market.
They're going to give it their all against the Chiefs, aiming to split the series 1-1 this season. If we win this game and make the playoffs, we'll head to Buffalo to face the Bills. It'll likely be a cold, tough game, but we'll be going in as a young, hungry team with a better defense and no pressure. We're playing with house money now, and it's going to be an exciting challenge. How are you all feeling about the Broncos right now? Are you confident we belong in the playoffs, or are you feeling a bit unsure because we might get in by beating the Chiefs' backups? Personally, I think there's no reason to apologize or feel embarrassed. Now, let's talk about some Pro Bowl snubs, starting with Zach Allen. I can't think of a player who's impressed me more this year. He's like a mini J.J. Watt, having played alongside Watt with the Arizona Cardinals, and he's been a game changer for us. Just look at the game where he sacked Joe Burrow 3.5 times. His stats show he's been one of the best interior defensive linemen in the league. Yet somehow, Zach was only named an alternate for the Pro Bowl. That's ridiculous. Even NFL experts like Brian Baldinger, who's coached in the league and knows his stuff, called it a wild snub. Zach Allen even retweeted Baldinger's comments saying, "Thanks, man, but I don't care about that. I'll aim for All-Pro instead." That's the kind of mindset we need, focused on what really matters, like earning respect from coaches and players and winning a Super Bowl. This team isn't about backing down or apologizing. We're not sneaking into the playoffs. We're proving we deserve to be there. A young, hungry team like ours, playing with nothing to lose, is dangerous. Everyone in Broncos country knows how this story ends. We believe in this team, and we're ready to see just how good they are.